loves, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a conversation about the It Ends With Us Blake Lively drama that's currently blowing up on social media, which has been like a really big PR nightmare, not only for Colin Hoover, the book, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, like everybody involved is basically besides Justin is, oh my god, I feel for him in this situation because it really, like, this whole situation could have been avoided if the due diligence was placed on you know, actually promoting the movie accurately. Controversial take to Blake Lively specifically. It really just needed to be centered on, like, especially the marketing. I don't know how Blake railroaded her way into twisting the whole entire marketing for this movie, centering it for her brand, her hair care brand, her everything, her husband, who was not even in the movie, but definitely got called out because he ended up writing a scene during the writer's strike, which a lot of people have been accusing him of being a scab for the movie, that then the writer of the movie didn't even know until she saw it in the film. That is crazy. That is insane to me, that it's kind of like Blake Lively just said, oh yeah, we're making this movie, I'm in control. Like, forget who's directing, it's me, it's I'm producing it too, so it's like I get to do whatever I want. It's wild times. And I feel like marketing wise, I don't understand why Blake got on social media and said, bring your florals and it's like it's a cute romantic comedy vibes to the theater. Let's do that without giving people a warning to what the content of this film is. Now, I'm gonna say this to get this out of the way. I have not read Colleen Hoover's books. I personally do not want to read her books. I know what happens in the book due to the fact that everybody's talking about it at this point, but I just, like, the things that have happened that I've seen coming from her as an author, I don't really want to engage in her content, so I'm personally not going to be reading her books, or even honestly watching this movie. But I feel like the way that things translate from book to movie are two completely different things. Colleen Hoover was recently, like, made a post on her Facebook page talking about how she ruined the promotion, like, of the movie, but she was joking, and she kind of joked and implied that somebody else ruined it, which is really insane. How, I mean, I feel like when it comes to her and her relationship with Blake, similar to, like, Blake's relationship with Taylor Swift, it's kind of like this, oh, we're sticking behind each other kind of thing. I'm pretty sure she's taking Blake's side in this whole situation, even though narrative wise Blake is clearly in the wrong for so many parts of how this is being marketed. So many like her responses, her dismissiveness, even the articles that have come out of, oh, you know, this is the reason why Blake and Justin have a problem, is because, you know, Justin approached Blake's trainer and asked her how much she weighs because he has back problems, and there's a scene in the movie where he has to, like, lift her up, and he has back problems, so he was just like, I just want to make sure I'm prepared, like, I just want to know, like, if, you know, how I can, like, approach it, like, how much, you know, she does weigh, so I can, like, prepare properly so I don't hurt myself while I'm filming. That is perfectly reasonable for me to, like, to understand, like. And I don't know why Blake thinks that we would see that as fat shaming. Like, she is trying to say that he fat shamed her for that situation, and that's one of the reasons why they have problems on set. But I'm like, as a millennial, okay, like, I personally don't go through body pains. Like, I don't have body pains personally, but I have friends, I have family members that have, like, body pains, and they kind of, like, have moments where they're like, oh my god, my knee or my back, or, like, where they have back problems. So it's like, I understand if they need to be accommodated for certain things, so I don't understand for millennials' age group, for us to not be sympathizing towards him saying, oh yeah, you know, I just want to make sure because I do have this issue and I just want to accommodate for myself. If it was for anybody else who has any other issue, it would have not been a problem. And I'm talking about for anybody else who has any other type of issue, like health issues, anything else. It would have not been a problem. It wouldn't be a conversation of, like, let's say somebody is an actor and they have claustrophobia and they're filming a scene in an elevator or something, and they're just asking a question of, hey, like, how long is this are we gonna be filming these scenes for? Because, you know, like, I have this issue and I just want to make sure that I'm like preparing myself for blah blah. I don't see how that would have anything to do with, oh, the person they're sharing screen time during the scene or anything of the sort. Like, I don't see how that their need for an accommodation is them doing something against somebody else. Like, I feel like Blake Lively is losing the plot where she's centering herself so much in this whole, not only the production of the film, but the marketing of the film, and now trying to center herself into the beef of the film, where it's like, you were even asked, like, hey, if any other fans want to approach you and talk to you about the content of the movie, which happens to cover DV, how would you approach that conversation? And she just started making a joke out of it and being super dismissive. Like, her interviews right now are wild times, and a lot of people are coming out and saying, oh, you know what, the reason why I like Blake Lively all this time is because I never listen to her talk. Because if you listen to her talk, she's very like mean girl energy. Like, she gives Regina George vibes, and I'm not gonna lie, she does. She does give Regina George vibes, but I think like where she's failing with this is that, especially with one of the comments that she made in a recent interview about how, like, you know, for those, like, her, like, DV does not define Lily's character. Just because she has, you know, your life, she's like messy, doesn't mean that defines her whole life. She can be so many things. Basically reducing being a victim of DV as just having a messy life or being messy, which is just like a messy comment to say, and then to expect victims to then agree or be like, yeah, Blake Lively. Like, I don't understand how she woke up and was like, yeah, I'm gonna get dressed in florals, I'm gonna tell them to come with their florals, I'm going to, you know, like, kumbaya this shit, and then it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be great. It's weird. Like, the marketing is weird. Like, I don't know if somebody sat her down and said, okay, so we cannot approach this way because people are going to perceive this way. We need to be very tactical because this is a very sensitive topic. And so maybe, like, let's center something else. Like, this would have been, I've seen a lot of really good recommendations from people coming from, like, TikTok, where they're like, you know what, this would have been a great opportunity for, instead of her marketing all these florals and stuff, this would have been a great opportunity for her to reach out to, like, maybe a designer that, overcame like DV, who, you know, you could feature her designs in some sort of way in the promotion, or in the, like, oh, this dress was you know, designed or created by this artist who, you know, experienced this, and they were able to, you know, like there's so many different ways, like really cool recommendations, like free marketing tips that they've been giving online to Blake Lively about how she should have addressed this. And I'm like, why did she go with the I'm the boss babe routes? Like, I'm the boss, so I get to do whatever I want to do, I'm going to say whatever I want to say, and that's what it is. Like, she basically railroaded this whole entire movie. She had a whole different version filmed, like her own version cut than the one that Justin wanted, even though he was the one who directed it. It's like the whole marketing, even the trailer doesn't give you enough context to the things going on in the movie. It's weird. Like, I think that Blake Lively should have just looked for a script or to be a part of a movie that was a romantic comedy, because that's what she actually wanted to do. I genuinely think that she wanted to be in a romantic comedy, in a, like, girls' night, get your florals and be at the movie theater and support, and instead of a movie that covers a serious topic. Because I feel like right now she's trying to dismiss it as quickly as possible, and I really think her privilege is showing, because I don't think that she's ever had to struggle for anything or ever had to have been in a situation that was unsafe in this type of way, where she experienced something that now she needs to have empathy or understand that she needs to hold space for a community that she's basically trying to masquerade as in a film. Like, controversial take, well, maybe not too controversial with a lot of the different takes that are coming out right now, but I don't think Blake has had, you know, any type of experience needing to have empathy for people that don't experience her privileged life. And so I don't think that she can connect the two. I honestly don't. I'm being completely honest. Like, I really don't think that she can look at it and be like, oh my God, this is such a serious thing. She's really dismissing it as like, oh, you guys just had a messy moment in your lives, basically. And that doesn't define you. You can still be all positive and kumbaya this shit. Like, it's weird. It's weird, but again, it just shows her privilege. And it just makes this whole thing very cringy, especially because Justin's approach to this whole entire thing and has been centering the DV, like centering like, hey, this is a movie with serious topics, you know, like I want to make sure that things are done in a certain way, like make sure like that, you know, her character is like protected, and like like really he got the rights to do this film because he was really passionate about it, and it just like, I feel like she just railroaded him to do whatever she wanted to do. And I'm really glad that, you know, people are seeing it for what it is. Like, Mercury retrograde is doing its thing right now, let me tell you. It's definitely doing its thing, and I know Blake is pissed and has been pissed because Mercury just moved into Leo, back into Leo while it's in retrograde, but it was in Virgo, and she is a Virgo, even though she has Leo energy, which is not gonna help with the rest of the with the rest of Mercury retrograde. It's not gonna help. Even going into Virgo season, it's not gonna help. I do think that the public perception towards Blake has been shifted in a really, really, really big way. I do think it hindered both her and Ryan Reynolds' brand, and the way the public perceives them. And I don't know why Ryan Reynolds should have had anything to do with this movie. I know that Deadpool and Wolverine just came out and stuff, but they should have not been doing cross promotion. Those are two different topics. Like, I just feel like the handling of this was very Blake centered, very like white women centered, and it just was not centering or holding space for the topic at hand. And I cannot believe, like, I understand, I understand why Colleen Hoover is just kind of like co-signing all of this nonsense for Blake. But you wrote the book. You know the seriousness of the thing. And if I was her as an author who wrote the book, I would be very disappointed that the center and the focus is not the topic of the book that I wrote. Like, why is that not the focus? Why are we derailing towards Blake Lively and her brands and her hair care? Why do we care about that? Okay, I don't know. It's weird. Justin recently hired a crisis management team, which represented Johnny Depp during the Amber Heard trial. And honestly, I don't think he needs it, but I think that the reason why he did that is because of any type of way that this could be twisted against him. Because some people will come out and just, you know, like that phrase of believe all women kind of thing. Some women cannot be trusted. Okay, like if you look at the whole, like even her commentary on, oh, I felt like I was being fat shamed because he asked my trainer about my weight because he said he had back problems and he needed to pick me up in that scene, but I felt like he was fat shaming me. This is one of those moments where it's like, okay, I believe that happens. I just don't believe that was fat shaming her, and I don't believe it warrants her not respecting him as a director, not like centering him as a director, and not allowing his vision to come through. And it's like, you can't always believe all women, just blanket, like just straight up, because sometimes they lie, and there's a history of that, especially for white women. So it's kind of like, I don't know how Blake is gonna twist this, and there's already, like, I feel like the production company, the film company, I can't remember, whoever is the one that produced this film, let me look it up actually, I don't know if it's Universal or who did it, but I know that they stood behind Blake. Basically, they're like protecting her, like standing with her of, you know, everything that's happening with Justin, and it's really disappointing because he is the director of the film. And I feel like he needs a little bit more respect. Like, yes, you know, men can be very toxic, can be very manipulative, can be very harmful. Men can be a lot of things, but you can't always believe all women in certain situations. You need to really look at the evidence in the thing, because this situation is like, well, if you look at it, like, why are you alienating him? Why are you treating him this way? This was not fat shaming. I don't understand why it's being twisted as such. Even if you just look at, like, if you take Justin out of the situation, this movie, like, the way that Blake has been marketing it, the criticism is valid. Like, if you take the whole Justin is the problem narrative out the window, Blake is still doing a whole bunch of stuff on her own that's making her look real bad. So it's like, you know, like, everything piled together is just adding to her being the villain, okay, being Regina George of the whole entire thing. And I think that Justin is just trying to protect himself with the crisis management team, just in case this gets twisted by her in some sort of way where the public narrative just kind of changes against him. I feel like it's like almost like a fight or flight. Like, you know, they could, her being a woman and her saying, and like, he did this, like, the possibility of a whole bunch of women all of a sudden switching up and being like, oh yeah, Blake was right or something, or this is fat shaming or something like that. All like that narrative being switched upon. It's like, I could understand why he would be like, you know what, I want to make sure that I'm behaving properly, or I can address it in the best way. Like, I can understand why he hired a crisis management team, because I do feel like Blake is about to professionally white women tears his shit. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. It hasn't gone to the point where she started crying yet, but as a Virgo, I know she is hating how people are perceiving her right now, because Virgos rule like the energy of perfection, and I do feel like there's an aspect, she's very self-aware, but obviously not self-aware enough where she doesn't understand how she comes off to other people. So I know she wishes that people weren't having these conversations about her right now. So I don't know. I feel like she's gonna end up defaulting to white women tears or something. Like, and I feel like that's why he was like, you know what? Let me just hire a crisis management team. Let me just get ahead of it. Anyway, this whole situation has been really disappointing. And the whole movie, like, it's just the promotion of it is how bad Blake is now, and it just has completely tarnished her image as not only an actress but as a person. So her and Ryan Reynolds' image is tarnished, her image is tarnished, the book is being misrepresented, everything, like the whole thing, PR nightmare. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a good day. Let me know what you guys think of Blake in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.